Good day. This is my weekly reflection for March 10 to 17. Following last week's visit to Norwich Castle and my start of editing, this second week of editing was completely different from the first because the pressure shifted from just fixing basic technical glitches to making hard and fast cutting decisions before the absolute deadline. Now, this week marked the final push for my Norwich Castle vlog as I moved past the initial shock of my messy footage and even color issues into the deep cutting, polishing, and of course the submission of the vlog itself. And so once I got the true colors of the castle walls restored, my main task was to figure out how to arrange my limited footage to create a smooth, logical flow, which eventually forced me to get creative with how I jumbled and arranged the videos to make the space feel complete. For instance, when I was talking about the old altar, I started the sequence with a first person point of view, looking directly at the stone where the altar used to sit, so that the audience could see this exactly what I was describing, and then I immediately cut to a different camera angle, showing my own face pointing at the exact same altar space to close out that specific area. Now, arranging these clips this way worked really well because it created a sense of visual continuity, making it look like I had planned a multi-camera shoot when I was actually just piecing together random takes, and to blend these sudden angle changes together smoothly. So I watched a few YouTube tutorials to learn how to add simple transition also when it comes to editing in Premiere Pro. Now applying this basic cut step by step and subtle dissolves make the visual jumps look significantly cleaner and instantly elevated the production value of the edit, teaching me that those tiny post-production techniques can completely change how professional a video feels. However, the biggest structural issue I hit during the middle of the week was dealing with the massive length of my project. Now, because even though I felt like I didn't have enough good clips, I realized I had actually vlogged way too many parts of the castle, which pushed my total timeline way past the maximum 3-minute limit. So to keep the vlog from overlapping the strict time frame, I had to make the painful decision to cut out entire sections and only focus on few key areas inside the chapel. But of course, this cutting process created a massive new problem with my audio commentary, because I've improvised so many lines on set to cover up my lack of research. My spoken sentences were scattered across different clips, and when I aggressively chopped the video down to fit the time limit, the audio cuts sounded completely unnatural. My voice would suddenly skip words or shift in volume between shots, and so to try and fix this during my time editing, I used Premiere Pro's audio tools to quickly smooth out the volume drops and layered a constant low volume background track to help mask these abrupt shifts, teaching me that if you don't write a script with tight sentences before you film, trying to force your spoken words into a specific time limit later, it will completely break the natural rhythm of your speech. Also, as the final submission deadline approached, my poor scheduling from the previous week caught up with me, and because I've spent so much of my limited time troubleshooting color glitches and even sorting through my messy audio, I completely ran out of time. The morning of the deadline, I was hit with the stressful reality of being forced to submit my work even though my final outro segment wasn't finished. Meaning, the video just cuts off abruptly after the final chapel feature because I didn't have the time to record the proper closing statement or add the final credits, submitting a piece of work that, felt incomplete, which was incredibly frustrating. Even though I was only about 50% confident on my first day of editing that I could finish on time, having to turn it in unfinished was a direct result of helping my friends film first. taking a long tour of the building and showing up without a script. So, using the 2 weeks of chaotic editing experience as my direct guide for making my professional final film in a few weeks, I know now exactly how to again manage my project timeline so that this hustle never happens again. Also, the technical skills I learned this week, like using smart camera angles for continuity and implementing smooth transition tricks, will be incredibly useful for making my final film look polished because we're also using Premiere Pro. However, the most valuable lessons are definitely about planning and time management again. For my upcoming final film, I am going to build a strict post-production calendar that accounts for unexpected, technical glitches. I allot time if ever something bad happens, giving myself a minimum 2 day, what I call a buffer zone before the official deadline. And I will also make sure to strictly edit to a pre-timed script so that I never have to destructively chop up my footages or sacrifice some of my project's outro just to fit a time limit, ensuring that my next final production will be completely organized. Thank you.